We're rolling. 5, 4, 3, 2. Morning, Bill. It's been wonderful having you here on tour with us in Australia. We would like to know if you've got any final thoughts for your fans, and if you've got any little things that you can give us a little bit of a taste of if you maybe come next time.
Well, I mean, first of all, without any hesitation whatsoever, that was one of the most enjoyable couple of weeks I've ever had. It really was such good fun because, you know, I've never done anything quite on this scale before because I've always had Tim and Graham to fall back on, quite literally in many cases, really. But but this doing it on my own, don't tell them, will you? But I actually prefer it because I do have a fairly healthy streak of megalomania in me, and I'm used to doing wildlife programs totally on my own and sort of ad-libbing my way through. And it's very hard to do that when you've got 2 or 3 people, you know, just get in each other's way. So I love that side of things. Overwhelmingly, though, I have to say it was just the sheer, what's the word, really, friendliness. And it sounds almost soppy, but sort of almost gratitude from when people came up, in, not just at the shows, but in the street and stuff like that. And they come and say, excuse me, you know, you've been already, I grew up with the goodies and this sort of thing. And then thank you. Now there's a word we don't hear very often, you know, and I can't say I've heard it in Britain for ages, in any context whatsoever. Nobody says thanks anymore, but they sure as hell do here. And, you know, any images of the sort of bluff Australian, which I suspect a lot of British people have, because they always have sort of prototype images, just about everybody in every nationality, it really is totally out the window, because there's a sort of gentleness to it. It's really been lovely, and it makes you feel wanted. It makes me feel wanted anyway, and that's important. This stage in life particularly important. I'd also really like to thank Justin and the whole team at K Factor. I've only just got around to figuring out why. That's a pun on X Factor, is it? Something like that. Good. Nice one, Justin. Fair enough. First of all, I have to say how honoured I am to have joined the roster of major sports people that I have enjoyed myself. I happen to be a big sports fan, you know, when he says Campese or Campo, no, he didn't say Campese, nobody does, do they? You know, he says, I'm touring with Campo, you know. Now a lot of people might misdrew that and wonder, Campo? Who is he? Is he a clown or what? You know? I know Campo, if you're watching, please, no, you know, just making that point. And the cricketers and so on and so forth, and I felt perhaps, to make sure the audience wasn't confused, I didn't do this, but I did toy with the idea of coming on and saying, look, I know many of you have probably been to shows where Justin has promoted them before, and I just want to assure you I'm not an ex-All Black, you know, because I never got around to talking about rugby as I wanted to. I think that's the thing, actually. I could have just rabbited on and had a nice chat, and we didn't even know. And I just want to go back to the organisation. That was absolutely terrific, because believe me, I've done a certain amount of touring, not a huge amount, but I do know how vulnerable you feel if you're performing in the evening and you turn up to a theatre. This is why I gave up doing a lot of this sort of thing in Britain, because I would turn up at the theatre and dropping things. Oh, hang on, out of shot and back in shot. Those are DVDs and CDs, don't worry about them, stop playing. I would turn up the theatre and there'd be nobody there, and sort of, I've been told to get there at 5:30, 6 o'clock, something like that, and there's nobody there. Then finally somebody very, very reluctantly will open the door and say, oh, you're here already, are you? Well, the engineer hasn't arrived yet, you know, do you want to look at the stage? And I'll go through the stage, and it looked like it's never been used for, you know, hadn't been used for weeks, and there's dust everywhere. And then I used to use a lot of projectors in the old days for showing slides. The projector wouldn't work. We'd shoot slides out all over the place. The microphones would sort of crackle and pop and feedback, just about everything, and it got very, very lonely. We did have a touch of that, it has to be said, a little teeny weeny touch of that in Melbourne, where I think they were trying to recapture the old days of theatre when it was incompetent and uncaring and dusty and a bit of a mess, and they did so very well, but that does not apply to the audience, who were lovely. Oh, I'll never get back, will I? But I've never been so well looked after in my life, and it's very comforting, I might say, to have an enormous bloke, in the nicest, well-proportioned sense, like Justin, who's sort of looking after me. I know if there's any trouble, he'll sort him out, you know. And I have to look at him and say, no, leave him alone, mate. You know, he's got that fellow behind him, you know, he's a big chap. And, of course, Justin wouldn't have had fun. If necessary, he might, but it was absolutely lovely. Lovely company, lovely organisation. And if anybody else wants to come over here and do a similar evening about the goodies and show clips and talk about music and that sort of thing, I don't think you should, because that's my job. Okay.